I guess I can start that. My time commitments from next year are actually basically the same as they are right now. I am a university-wide representative in student government, so that will take out some level of time. I've had to work a part-time job in the past to support my family. I don't know if I'll be doing that next semester. But really, this semester, I have been a university-wide rep while working a part-time job and doing everything that I can to be a leader in this community. And but throughout all of that, UDems has been the one thing that's defined my time here at UC. And it's the one thing that I've dedicated every bit of myself to over my 2 years here, and I look forward to continuing to do that. UDems is the top of my priorities, regardless of where anything else stands. I will fail my classes before I see this organization fail. And there's a very good chance I'll happen.
My schedule right now for next semester is a 12-hour minimum full-time student. And that's all I've committed to at this point as far as like any significant commitments. There are a lot of people who've asked me to take on other commitments, particularly our student government executive director, Jimmy Talrico, keeps asking me to apply for different appointments. But while I'm running for this, just in case I win, I can't take on anything else just because I personally believe being in an election semester, being UDems president and a full-time student, that's enough for me.
I don't usually get that kind of applause before I speak. I'm going to try to squeeze UDems in between the drinking, drug trafficking, and cheap Asian prostitutes, but you know, it could get a little tricky. On a completely unrelated note, I'd like to point out that Michael Herta is wearing a navy suit and black shoes.
Disqualified.
You can describe every politician in the United States.
Okay, so title of the committees. Let me see. Mondays, I got Mexican Martini Mondays at Trudy's. Tuesdays, Dog Beer Night at Cane's. Wednesdays, they have a Whiskey Wednesday thing, one of those bars on Congress. And then Thursdays, downtown. Fridays, downtown. Saturdays, downtown. Sundays, downtown. Yeah, great time commitments.
Alcoholic.
Takes difference to no one.
Wait, hold on. When you were talking about
the University Democrats Leadership Council, how do you hope to reform UDLC, either in terms of reforming structure or improving
I can start that with this, I guess. I actually don't think that a lot of people in here have any idea what UDLC is. I think that's a problem because my first semester in UDems, whenever I just came here, I was new to the university. I was just a general member, but I remember Zach Seahall, had invited me to come and be a part of this leadership council and to sit in on meetings and do what I could to inform the way that UDems worked. I think that that's a really important thing. I think that the future of our organization, more than it's dependent on any one president or any group of officers, is dependent on each and every one of you. And we need to do more to take into account your ideas and your individual perspectives and the unique things that you bring to the table. I think that a great way to do that is by breaking down those barriers of bad communication between the officer board and the committee chairs and general members. I want to see a committee structure that allows general members to come in and say, this is my idea to improve the organization. I have a great action item or cause or something. President of UDems, whoever you are, UDLC, can I be a part of this conversation? And I want the people to be a part of that conversation. I think it will be much better for them.
Okay. I guess a couple things. We have 10 officers, and then we usually have some amount of committee chairs. And those are 10 plus people with titles. 10 plus people who feel entitled to contribute. Not necessarily who just want to contribute, but they feel entitled, they feel that they need to like give their responsibilities. And sometimes we have too many people who feel entitled to contribute, feel like they have to as opposed to just wanting to. So that's part of it. We have committees. I want to make sure that we don't have so many committee chairs where everyone thinks that they need to like actually have their idea taken into account and or not taken into account, but have their idea. But to have their idea actually enacted. I would, he mentioned too about Zach how he asked some people if they would come into leadership council. I would add on there is a line in our constitution that says our officer meetings are open, and if anyone expressed interest on wanting to help organize the club, I would point them to the officer meeting and do that with them because that's a big thing. We should be open to everyone who wants to come.
money to pay for her medications, and she was wondering what the UDems leadership was going to do for her. And you know, your question really brings me back to that. And I can tell you with complete honesty, Cameron, that if you ever have any suggestions for any member of the University Democrats Leadership Council, you can come to me, and your voice will be heard.
Now, back in my day, when I was an officer in UDems, there was no UDems Leadership Council. That is the dumbest name I've ever heard. We'll just have officer meetings again. But, yes, Brittany, preach. Yes. But anyway, now, I actually wanted to come over real quick on something that Michael mentioned earlier. It was in the previous question. He said, talking about killing two birds with one stone. Have you ever actually tried that? It's hard. Like, you have to really balance it. It's tricky. That's all I'm saying. It's tricky.
Any other questions on the floor?
We're out of time.